Good evening, folks. It's Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Happy Wacky Wednesday. Let's get into it. Who got arrested, I should say, indicted for election fraud? And the wealthiest DPW employee? Let's talk about it. I'm Freddie Vasquez. That and more. Join me now.
Ready, win.
Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered.
Ready, win. Fatality.
Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. A city employee is arrested for election fraud, being indicted. I'm not taking the credit, I'm just saying. Finally, also, folks, the wealthiest DPW employee, sources are telling Freddie some things. What's going on here? And Tasha Diaz. Tasha Diaz can no longer be seen or be associated with the Westchester food drives or feeding Westchester food distributions. According to information I'm receiving, Tasha Diaz has been sent a letter along with Corazon Pineda Isaac that they cannot be at the food distributions, especially during election years. So they're not supposed to be there at any of these distributions. However, our majority leader was there anyway today at the food distribution, disregarding the letter from Feeding Westchester. I mean, doesn't care. And this comes after people have complained. People have reached out to Freddie Vasquez. People have talked about how she's using these, distribution places to gather information on people, get their names and emails and get them to register to vote, sign petitions, even sign ballots. Also, I've heard from many volunteers that she saves the best of the Feeding Westchester food for herself. So these individuals are not even supposed to be there, yet they're taking the best of the food that's being provided to the people who are in most need. Those with the food insecurity, the ones you always talk about. I've witnessed it myself. They tried to say she was delivering, but since when did our city council members become delivery drivers? This is not just happening at one or two food distribution drives. No, in fact, the girl, the Dominican woman with the big butt, as she was described to me, just described to me that way, pardon me, by several volunteers over at the YMCA, she puts the best of the best food for herself. Or fancy from what I hear. This is how she was described to me. So they take advantage of these food drives and they take the best of the best for themselves. So I'm glad that they're getting up out of there. And stay out of there, Tasha, because people are going to be looking to take pictures of you at these food distribution drives. Do not make it political. You're not supposed to be there. That's not your job. Not at all. You have an election coming up. I can see why you would do this, right? This is what you guys do. There's no reason for you to be there. It's time that we have some change here. Okay, it's time we have change within our election, and it's becoming quite obvious to many of us. Anyway, folks, moving on. A city employee was indicted on election fraud. I mean, I don't make these things up. City of Yonkers director indicted on election petition fraud. And we spoke about this here in the city of Yonkers, have we not? The man basically was forging signatures. And certain individuals here within the city of Yonkers have been seen doing the same while in their office up in City Hall. I saw one of you today, actually, and I said hello, and I'll get into that in a second. I spoke about this a while back. William Serratori, excuse me if I say that wrong, Director of Sustainability for the City of Yonkers, was indicted on election related fraud charges on Wednesday, September 13th in Rockland County. And why is that important? I'll go into it in a second. According to Rockland County District Attorney Thomas E. Walsh II, the alleged fraud occurred during the primary nominating period between March 6th, God is good. That date is, anyway, and April 7, 2023. Around this time, individuals who were believed to have signed petitions for Mount Kisco mayoral candidate Tom Luzio came forward with affidavits asserting that the signatures had been falsified. Folks, and there are individuals here in the city of Yonkers who were presented with the opportunity to sign affidavits stating that their signatures too were falsified on petitions for Mike Breen. However, they were too scared to sign the affidavits, but they did acknowledge that they had never signed those petitions. Maybe we ought to get Rockland County down here, right? William, Tom, after an investigation, William Serratori stands accused of forging and attesting to forged signatures on 3 separate nominating petitions for this candidate that he later submitted to the Westchester County Board of Elections. This is what I'm saying, folks. Why didn't the Westchester County Board of Elections notice this? Additionally, on April 2nd, William's son, Carmelo, allegedly forged signatures on a petition which also filed with the Westchester County Board of Elections. William faces a total of 15 felony counts, including forgery in the 2nd degree, criminal possession of a forged instrument in the 2nd degree, and offering a false instrument for filing in the 1st degree. Meanwhile, his son Carmelo has been charged with 4 felony counts. These include forgery in the 2nd degree and criminal possession of a forged instrument in the 2nd degree. The investigation into these alleged offenses was conducted by the Rockland County DA, acting in special prosecutorial capacity. Special prosecutorial capacity. That's important to know. The case was sent to that office by Westchester County DA Roca after she recused herself. After her recusal came because Tom Luzio was an advisor on her last campaign. Senior Assistant District Attorney Rebecca McGee has been assigned to prosecute the case. Both defendants were arraigned on September 13 before the Honorable Robert A. Neary. It is unknown at this time if Mr. Serratori alleged illegality extended into Yonkers politics. Folks, that should be investigated. That should 1,000% be investigated. You're hilarious. Thank you. You know, I try not to be funny. That's not my goal, but thank you. If that's a good thing anyway. But that definitely should be investigated, folks, because that's going on here in the city of Yonkers. You can see that petitions are signed by one person. I mean, you don't have to be a $10,000 handwriting expert to see that the signatures are by the same person. That should be investigated. Why did they get the Rockland County? It just wasn't because Mimi Roca was an advisor on his Tom's campaign. You know, Mimi Roca, people are talking. It's compromised. Westchester DA, we're not going to see any investigation out of there, any real legitimate investigations, maybe into political opposition, political enemies, those who oppose certain individuals. They may get investigated. They may get indicted, but we're not going to see anything. So they from Westchester. So they sent it to Rockland County, where finally an indictment has come on things that we know are going on here. We, the people, see it. We're choking over here. Hey, Rockland County, can you get some special stuff going over here? You know what I'm saying? And it's obvious. Many people know a lot about this. It's not just Freddie Vasquez. I'm not the only one that has the information. Shout out to the Yonkers Ledger, by the way, for this article. It's, Yonkers Ledger is probably the most legitimate, news source out here. In terms of what he does, right? I consider myself an information source podcast, but in terms of real legitimate journalism, that's where you want to be, right? Yonkers Ledger does a great job. I will go, a little more with the, things that are kind of maybe people may not want to touch, but we're going to touch on it, right? We definitely going to touch on it like Steve Trevert touched on me today at Dos Marias. The man put his hands on me. This is the...
Afternoon, Yonkers. It's Freddie Vasquez.
Mike Breen's chief of staff. I saw them walking around 1 p.m., a little after 1 p.m. today. It was Brenton Bullock, the chief of staff of Tasha Diaz, the guy that makes $95,000 a year as a chief of staff, shows up to work at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And this is from very credible sources within City Hall. I'm just going to say that. You heard? And so I see them today walking after 1 o'clock, and I'm like, you know, what are they doing? They're opening up Dos Marias. Dos Marias was closed until they showed up at the door, and they went inside for some taquitos and some Modelo.
It's not a nice nickname. Call me the guy
What
that
a
messes
job.
up plans.
What a job.
It's open. So this is what our taxpayer money does. Look at these guys. Look at these folks. Keeping them honest. Keeping them honest. Hey, Steve. How you doing, Steve? Good. Did you ever apologize to Carolyn in person? You gonna push me? You got your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me, Steve. Steve, don't get your hands on me. Steve, don't put your hands on me.
Excuse me, please. Excuse me.
Oh.
She was a lot stronger than Steve was, that's for sure. Well, she was a lady, so I had to make sure that I was the one that was injured and thrown on the floor in that situation, because God forbid they say that I tackled this woman and beat her down too. I wouldn't want that to happen, right? So the woman asked me to leave. I did in a dramatic fashion. I didn't get injured, folks, don't worry. But I asked Steve, did he apologize to Carolyn Solari, a woman who he assaulted and bullied online? He was doing so using a fake page. And it was only until he messed up and got caught using that fake page that he then gave her a call to apologize. He left a message. So I wanted to know if he actually apologized in person. He didn't really like it too well, but I'm glad to see that the Democrats and Republicans can get together over some tacos. And I know people are going to say, oh, Freddie, what they were doing wrong, just having lunch. I know they were just having lunch. I just had a question. That's all. And I left in peace. Right. But it's good to see the Democrats and Republicans getting along. Folks, I want to talk about the some stuff that I've been getting from individuals who have been reaching out to Freddie Vasquez and Basement Politics in regard to the wealthiest DPW employee. Wow. Look at this. I don't know who this guy is, but this is on TikTok. According to sources, this is his Lamborghini. Nice. That's very nice. Very nice. According to sources, also, the individual has driven to DPW to work in Lambos and Ferraris. People are knowing about this. People are talking about this. They know. And they're wondering, is he the wealthiest DPW employee? The man has made roughly $80,000 a year, but is also said to be building a $4 million home. $4 million home? Wow. He knows how to stretch $80,000. That's for sure. We all need to learn that. But yes, these are what folks are saying. In fact, it's his braggadocious personality that's making it hot for whatever it is that he's getting this money. I don't know. Maybe he hit the lotto. Who knows? Sometimes people want to keep it low when they hit the lotto. So I don't want to blow it up if that's the case. But if he did hit the lotto, then maybe he should retire and give the job to someone who has not hit the lotto and is desperate to pay their bills and looking for a city job. Just saying, if you can afford to build a $4 million house, why work? Just retire and, you know, enjoy your life savings, but don't blow it. If you did hit the lotto, like many people do, they will lose their money very soon after. So make sure you don't buy too many foreign cars. You don't want to lose all your money, you know? So maybe being braggadocious is not the best thing to be, because everybody knows and everybody sees. Some people stay quiet and some people talk. And you never know where they will walk and end up. I don't know. Just rhymes. Anyway, folks, is he the wealthiest DPW employee? I don't know. I really don't know. Don't know. Anyway, folks, I got the video up there if you want to check it out. Oh, there it goes. Beautiful home. Is that a $4 million home? I don't know. Never had one. Oh, it's in the construction phase. That's all we see. We do not see who the individual is. Well, don't be so braggadocious.
Freddie
Folks,
Vasquez here,
I
Basement
showed this
Politics.
is Getty Square here.
Live in my favorite place with my favorite people because I love the people. And I remember my grandmother holding my hand
That's right.
as we walked
right.
down
Well,
this
I
very
miss you.
sidewalk here, and we would go into C.H. Martin where she would buy things for the home because we were poor.
We didn't have that
And
money.
that's what we could afford. And I still
C.H. Martin, that was the spot, right? We used to go. I would go with my grandmother. You know, I used to enjoy going there. I thought it was fun. Thought it was the greatest thing. But anyway, folks, as you can see, they're boarded up windows. I don't know if they're putting this here to keep the homeless folks from standing in front, but it looks like, we had a riot or something go on just a day or two ago. You can see this here. We have some yellow tape and a board. But then you see all this mess here. Let's look over here. Look at this. Somebody left the donut there. And I know you got the Yonkers downtown bid to come by and do some cleanup. I get it. I definitely get it. But, maybe they should come earlier so that way the people don't have to see this stuff, I know a lot of kids go through here. That does something to their psyche. Just check all that out. Let me put that big, that does something to your psyche. And look at this board. What is this? Did somebody break into this or what? Right?
I walk because they are.
And then there was also a boarded up window at C.H. Martin. So as I drove through there this morning, it just looked like it was, I don't know, like it looked like these crazy cities that I'm seeing in these YouTube videos of people strung out everywhere. And it's a mess, and homeless people pitching up all kinds of tents. It's unbelievable. Folks, traffic is getting crazy, right? How many of you are having trouble getting to work? How many of you have realizing now you have to get up an hour earlier than you once did just to get to work? The traffic is horrendous, bumper to bumper, in and out of the city of Yonkers, and we have not even built all of them. Well, I don't say we're not building, right? They haven't even built all of the buildings yet. And in fact, I hear that they're not even full to capacity. But the traffic is crazy. I mean, I can't deal with it. I'm really learning. This is now I'm learning patience. I can't deal with it. And now I'm further into the city there. I have to drive all the way towards, Linden Street over there. It's crazy. It's horrible. It's bad. I don't know what's going to happen when more buildings go up. I don't know what's going to happen when they build on Chicken Island. Is that even a good idea? I don't even think a baseball park would have been a good idea. It just doesn't make sense. The roads are too narrow. It's just not enough space to handle the volume of cars. Add a bunch of scooters, and you got Crazy Town. Crazy Town, USA is what the city of Yonkers has become. It's unbelievable, and I'm getting really upset about the way my city is looking. It's really bad. And granted, we don't look like some of the worst cities out there, but slowly we're creeping to that point, it seems. And I don't know how much these luxury rentals are helping. Are we waiting for it to all be complete? Is that when we're going to see the Hollywood on the Hudson that's been promised? Will any of us be here by that point? So is it for us? Some of us might die of old age by the time we see any Hollywood on the Hudson that we can say, wow, this is amazing. I want to live here for sure. Don't see that yet. But I see a lot of new faces, a lot of new people that are obviously not from Yonkers. Have you noticed? You can tell just in the way they drive, just in the amount of little puppies they have in their small box apartments. It's crazy. And a lot of people are coming in, strangers, and they're taking over. A lot of businesses are being closed down. Many businesses over in the Ludlow Park area were closed. People lost their jobs. The buildings were knocked down. People in City Hall, elected officials, would have you believe that those were a bunch of abandoned warehouses, but they were not. If you would go down there on any given weekday, you would see all the people that were working in many of those warehouses. They weren't just empty, abandoned buildings. They weren't an eyesore to anyone. It was only people who worked there in warehouses, and they would go home. I don't think they mind. They didn't care how their job looked. What about the bus depot that will no longer be there? Lots of jobs being lost there, hundreds of jobs. So while they talk about bringing jobs and bringing affordable housing, in actuality, what's been done is we've seen a reduction in the affordable housing stock, and we've seen jobs eliminated systematically. Developers buying up the land and developing systematically. And who's benefiting from it all? Not you and I. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting me. all the information that I have, I sent it all to several different individuals. Shout out to the guy that recognized me in McDonald's. And my wife was with me this time. And she was like, I said, yeah, people just come up to me all the time. They thank me. They really do. They thank me. And another individual actually said, do you fear for your life exposing this stuff? I don't fear for my life in any point in time these days. I can't fear death, right? Only God, I fear, and God has a plan. Whatever that plan may be, I'm just a vessel, right? And I'm fulfilling his plan here, is what I believe. And so I just want people to know that, I don't fear anything. I don't fear anyone coming to do something. Is it possible? Anything's possible. I can get hit by a bus, right? As they say. But in the event that anything was to happen to me, there are, secondary plans that I put in place, and things that I didn't really want to expose will be to a lot of people, to media outlets, to federal agencies, on social media, and elsewhere. And I did that as a fuck you if you do something to me. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. I love you, Yonkers. Don't change on me, baby. Don't change on me. Let's go. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Keeping them honest. Thank you to all those who support the podcast and who come up to me and say they appreciate what I'm doing. Thank you. And I love the fact that it's a diverse group of people. It just really means that I'm touching a lot of people and that we have common, desires, and we have, things in common regardless of what side of town we are from, what color our skin may be, what race, religion, gender we are. We have common goals, and that's to see a better Yonkers, and that's to see things improve here in the city of Yonkers. So let's do this in a united fashion, folks. We have to vote and support the good people. Remember, I try to get petitions. Maybe next time you guys will be out here wanting to sign mine, because I'm going to kick ass and take names. That's what I'm here to do. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Thank you, folks. Have a beautiful night. Enjoy your Thursday. I'll see you guys at 1. Yeah.